Hello and a warm welcome to an all new video by AutoTheory. Yes, in English. Why? Because some of you actually requested it. We had the SEAT Virtual Cockpit shown and there were some, or let's say many, or let's say more than we expected requests that we do it in English. And now we have the Škoda Kodiaq RS, which has the same virtual cockpit. Hardware-wise, not software-wise, it looks a bit different, but we're gonna walk through the system and hopefully all your questions will be answered. The virtual cockpit will be available in, I guess, all the Škoda models except the Fabia and the even smaller Citigo, depending on your market if you even got the cars. But in between, let's say the new Scala and up to the all-new Superb, which may come out in summer 2019, there will be the option to get this virtual cockpit. Sadly, as far as we know, only the 10-inch version, because some of you may know there is a bigger one, the 12-inch version, which comes in some Audis and even some Volkswagen, but not in the Škoda or the SEAT models. Hardware-wise, it's the same system as we already showed you in the SEAT video. It's, well, not as fast and not as good looking as the 12-inch one in the Audi models, for example, but we just take a look now. So I'm just gonna start up the system now. This is actually the kind of goodbye screen you get when you exit the car. And this is, well, I already changed it to English, as you can see there. This is actually the standard screen which the Kodiaq RS starts in. As you may see, there are the red rings and the carbon look. This is special to the Kodiaq RS. We also have a fifth view of the virtual cockpit, which is also special to the Kodiaq RS and will probably not be seen in the standard Škoda or SEAT models. Now we're gonna go through the different views. This is kind of the standard, the original, the classic one. Then you get this one, which is actually quite nice. You have the systems right here. You can see if the lane assistant is working or not. And then there's this one, which we kind of not use as much because there's no clear view of what this should actually look like. And this one is actually our favorite because it's minimalized to what you actually need. It's the speedometer and your range. And as you can see, also the fuel gauges disappeared and also, well, the temperature disappeared. So it's basically all you need during a kind of a long drive. And then there's the Kodiaq RS special one with only the RPM settings and also quite nice, this oil temperature here and the power output over there. Not quite sure if you can see this on camera, but there's a slight delay in the graphics, which is actually one, well, let's say down point to the 12-inch one, and the 10-inch one is just not as good as responsive as the bigger one, the 12-inch one is. And for the center part, you can change that on the steering wheel as well. Your driving data, your assistant systems, the navigation, your audio, and also the telephone or the vehicle status, which is actually fine. Now let's take a look in the navigation. Well, because there's another point, you can zoom in and out, but as you can see, it's also not as fast as the 12-inch ones. And as you may see as well, there's no Google Earth setting here, so it's just kind of the standard mapping. And there's also no 3D view available. It changes the angle a bit, but all in all, it stays quite, let's say, old school. And this navigation view changes depending on what the view you have. So there's a quite bigger one over here, and there's a kind of a middle one. And this stays actually the minimalistic view all the time. And there's no map view in the Kodiaq RS special view. And most of the screens, these two parts over there, therefore you have actually to leave the steering wheel. We can see there's the view button, which can change the whole view itself. And there's this button where you can change between the center view, what you want to see. But to actually change what you want to see in the side view, the left and right ones, you have to go into the infotainment screen and into vehicle, and then there you have the setting for your digital instrument panel. So this is the auto view that mainly changes to whatever you're running. So basically if you're running or starting navigation, it changes from consumption or audio to the navigation view. And then there's the classic view. So you can only see your gear or your speedometer, which looks like this. So you see on the left hand side is set to P and or set to park, and on the right hand side you can see the speedometer. And then quite interesting, you can set 3 personal views and you can switch by swiping what you want to see in the right and in the left hand corner. And whatever you stop, you set it to the view, and then you can, I don't know, have some different views over here, and there you go. And now we take a closer look how it looks in the virtual cockpit itself. Now when I change the right hand side, it takes some time, but it's actually quite responsive, much better than when you scroll in and out in the navigation itself. And also in the kind of RS view, you still can change some stuff on the right and left hand corner. And this is what it looks like in the classic view. There you go. But as you have seen now, there are some views that cannot display all the information you want. So you have to adopt what you want to see, what you want to prefer while driving. So for example, if I change the view, it changes the whole display. So I can't have any information in that, kind of not as minimalistic as the real minimalistic one. So all in all, respectfully, it is a fair deal if the virtual cockpit comes as a standard. However, personally, since there is still the choice between the old school analog instruments and the new optional virtual cockpit, I would always go for the old school instruments because they look quite nice, they look better, they have a, well, let's say, classier look to it, and all in all, the responsiveness of the virtual cockpit is not what I would expect. It's not as good as the 12-inch screen, which is much better, therefore I would go as an option, but as far as we're concerned with 10-inch, I wouldn't actually buy it as an option. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, had all the questions you may still have answered, and if there are still some left, just let us know. We will surely having the chance to look at another virtual cockpit in either a Skoda or a Seat or even an Audi.